The smell of strawberries and vanilla filled my kitchen that morning, the kind that usually meant something good was about to happen. My daughter June was sitting on the counter legs, swinging her fingers sticky from the frosting she'd accidentally tasted. It was her 5th birthday. I wanted everything to be perfect, the kind of day a child remembers for all the right reasons. I'm Mara Whitlow, and I used to believe that love meant trying harder, staying quieter, and forgiving faster. That belief shattered the moment my husband placed a thick envelope on the kitchen table between the cake knife and the sprinkles. "Sign this," he said, his tone flat as if he were telling me to take out the trash. For a second, I thought it was a joke, maybe another one of Cole's cold, sarcastic moods. But when I looked at his eyes, I saw nothing but distance. The same eyes that once made me feel safe now looked at me like I was a burden he couldn't wait to set down. June giggled behind me, humming to herself as she arranged strawberries in a crooked little heart on her cake. The sight should have softened him, it only seemed to irritate him more. He turned away, muttering something about wanting peace, leaving the envelope like a verdict on the counter. I didn't open it right away. My hands were trembling too hard. Instead, I wiped the frosting off June's cheek, forcing a smile so she wouldn't see the storm that had just begun. The sunlight streaming through the blinds suddenly felt cold, and the smell of vanilla, my favorite, turned sharp, metallic. That was the moment I realized this wasn't just another argument. It was the start of the end, and though I didn't know it yet, the beginning of something far stronger. Cole didn't come home that night after dropping the envelope. He said he was clearing his head, which meant avoiding responsibility. So I tucked June into bed alone. "Daddy will still come to my party, right?" she whispered. I told her yes, though I knew he wouldn't. The next morning was too quiet, the kind of silence that feels like waiting. By noon, Cole came back smelling of whiskey. "Tessa's coming over," he said. "She's had a rough week." Tessa always had a rough week. Every time she appeared, our home turned into a stage, and I became invisible. She swept in that afternoon perfume, thick arms around Cole. "You got me that cake from Sugarfinch, right?" she asked. Cole looked at me. You heard her. I wanted to refuse, but his stare made the choice for me. June and I drove across town, barely making it before the bakery closed. She asked for 2 cakes, one for Auntie, one for me. When we got home, Tessa took the prettier one. June's smile faltered. "It's okay, Mommy," she whispered. I like sharing. That quiet broke me more than shouting ever could. My daughter was learning to shrink herself to keep others comfortable, just like I had. Later, I found her shattered piggy bank on the floor. "Mommy, my piggy's empty," she cried. Cole didn't look up. "Relax." Tessa needed cash. "It's her savings," I said. "It's just change," he muttered. But it wasn't. It was everything June had earned, coins of pride and effort. That night, staring at the broken ceramic, I realized the truth. I was more afraid of staying than leaving. By dawn, I'd decided I wouldn't sign his papers. I'd sign my own escape. Maple Grove smelled like pine and laundry soap. When Mom opened the door, she didn't ask questions, just said, "You're home." June slept beside me on the couch, her small hand clutching my sleeve. I still hadn't cried. Not when he handed me the papers. Not when I found the broken pig. Instead of tears, there was clarity. The next morning, a message from Priya, my COO at Birch and Loom, flashed on my phone. "Urgent. Breach alert last night. IP from Cedar Ridge Cole's house." I opened my laptop at Mom's table. The logs showed multiple failed login attempts to our document vault using my credentials. Someone had tried to access the corporate structure folder. I sent the data to Priya. She called instantly. "Mara, this looks deliberate. I've frozen your admin rights. Don't go back there. I wasn't planning to." I thought of all the years I'd spent building Birch and Loom, stitching linen napkins in our garage while Cole called it my cute hobby. Now he wanted to take that too. That afternoon, I drove to the Riverview Family Center. Ms. Delgado, the counselor, handed me cocoa and a safety planning form. "We can file a temporary restraining order," she said. I nodded. "I don't want him near June until this is resolved. Then we'll make sure of it." That evening, after June slept in Mom's guest room, I went back to the house for a few things. Documents, clothes, her sketchbook. The place felt hollow. Then a rustle. I froze. Through the door crack, I saw Tessa rifling through drawers, phone pressed to her ear. "Cole, it's not here," she hissed. Maybe she took it. She was searching for company files. I slipped out the back door, shaking, clutching June's backpack and my papers. The porch light flickered like a dying heartbeat. That house wasn't a home anymore, it was a battlefield. Back at Maple Grove, I called Aiden Mercer, a lawyer I'd worked with once. I told him everything. "We'll start with protection orders," he said. "Then go after what's yours." For the first time in years, I felt something solid, an ally, a plan, a breath of freedom. The next few days blurred into phone calls, emails, and quiet hours with June. While she built blanket forts in my mother's living room, I sat at the dining table documenting everything. Aiden had told me, "You can't fight chaos with emotion. You fight it with evidence." So I did. I gathered system logs, screenshots, IP traces from Cole's Wi-Fi, and e-signature attempts. Each file saved twice cloud and encrypted drive. It felt cold, methodical, like dissecting a wound to stop the infection. At night, I'd check on June, her breath steady. "Mommy, are we going home soon?" she murmured. "We already are," I whispered. The next morning, Priya called. Another login attempt. Cedar Ridge again. "He's trying to move fast." "He won't," I said. "Not this time." That afternoon, Aiden met me at a cafe near the courthouse. "We'll file the TRO today," he said. "Reinstall your old home security app. If they show up again, we'll have proof." I logged in that night. The feed flickered my old office dim and still. Then Tessa appeared. She opened drawers, rifled folders, tugged at the desk lock. "Cole, it's not here," she whispered into her phone. Proof, finally. I sent the clip to Aiden. "Good," he said. "This will support our claim. Don't contact them." Silence makes your side louder. His words stayed with me. That week, Priya and I secured Birch and Loom new passwords, admin resets, board alerts. "He really thought he could steal this from you," she said. "It's not about the company anymore," I told her. "It's about boundaries." That night, June drew us on a beach. "The sun means we're safe now," she said. "You're right, baby." "We are." Later, a system alert flashed password reset from an unverified device same time as the footage. I didn't panic. I smiled. This time I wasn't waiting to be rescued. I was building the case. By dawn, the evidence was airtight. Cole had crossed from manipulation into fraud. The courthouse smelled faintly of paper and tension. Aiden walked beside me. Let him talk himself into a corner. Cole sat stiff at the defense table, Tessa beside him, pretending to be fragile. His lawyer began smoothly. "My client has been the provider. Mrs. Whitlow has hidden assets." Predictable, Cole always made himself the victim. When it was our turn, Aiden said, "What my client has hidden aren't assets but years of control and deceit." I took the stand. After we married, kindness became control, what I wore, who I spoke to, even the money I earned. He dismissed Birch and Loom until he realized he couldn't own it. Aiden presented 2 folders. Exhibit A, security logs. Exhibit B, video of the defendant's sister accessing private property. The video played. Tessa rifled through my drawers. Cole's color drained. "That's not," he started, but the judge raised a hand. Then came the logs. IP traces, timestamps, undeniable. Tessa broke. He said it was just paperwork. The judge's tone was firm. "The court finds in favor of Mrs. Whitlow. Restraining order remains. Fraudulent evidence will be sent to the district attorney." Aiden exhaled. "You did it. But I didn't feel victorious, just free." Outside, snow fell softly. Cole glared. "You'll regret this." "I already did," I said. "Not anymore." 3 months later, the fear was gone. Our new apartment was small but sunlit. June called it our castle in the sky. Each morning she made peanut butter toast while I sipped coffee, watching her hum safe and whole. Back at Burton Loom, Priya hugged me. "Welcome home, boss." Home. Not something I owed, something I built. Our spring line homeward celebrated returning to safety and truth. That afternoon I received an email the district attorney had opened a case against Cole. Aiden was right. Silence could be loud. That night, I opened a draft called After the Storm. It wasn't about Cole, it was about reclaiming voice and peace. The words flowed easily. When I finished, Aiden's message blinked. Cole's attorney wants to settle, I replied. No settlement. Let the process speak. Then I kissed June goodnight. We did it, baby. We're really home. And for the first time, I believed it. It was a quiet spring morning when I saw Cole again. The sky was pale blue, gentle and forgiving. June's birthday was a week away. She wanted a bike with a red bell that sounds like laughter. Cole now had supervised visits twice a month. I kept it brief pick-up drop-off, no talk. But that day he asked to meet. I'll meet you in public, I said. Half an hour. At a cafe near the police station he looked worn hands fidgeting with his cup. You really went all out, he said bitterly. Lawyers' investigations. I went honest, I replied. You should try it. You think you won, he snapped. My job's gone. Tessa won't talk to me. You did that yourself, I said. You just didn't expect me to stop cleaning up after you, he sighed. I just wanted things to be fair. Fair, I asked. You drained June's savings, forged my name, tried to steal my company and call that fair. He looked away, shame softening his anger. June still asks about you, I said. You can still be her father. But if you cross another line, the law will stop you, not me. He met my eyes. You're not the same. No, I said. And you never saw it coming. I left a few dollars and walked out. Outside, the air felt gentle. At home, June was wobbling down the sidewalk on her pink bike, laughing as the red bell chimed. Mommy, watch me go. You did perfect, I said, breathless. That night after she slept, I sat with tea and opened After the Storm. The first line read, Sometimes the hardest part isn't walking away, it's walking back toward yourself. This time, I hit publish. By morning, messages poured in, women sharing stories of leaving healing and peace. Their voices rose together, quiet but strong. I looked around our apartment, sunlight on the walls, June's drawings, the smell of strawberries. Life hadn't become easy, but it was finally mine. I smiled not to hide pain, but because it was gone. This wasn't the end of my story. It was the beginning of everything I'd chosen. The world felt different after the storm. Not because it changed, but because I finally saw it clearly. The noise of old arguments had been replaced by softer sounds, June's laughter mugs clinking a quiet life rebuilt piece by piece. Weeks later, after the storm had spread far beyond me, letters and messages came from women everywhere, stories of invisible bruises and silent courage. Survival wasn't the end. Healing was. At Birch and Loom, we launched homeward with a small gathering. This isn't about business, I said. It's about rebuilding. Every stitch belongs to someone who began again. That evening at the park, June pedaled her red bike through the fading light. Mommy, are we happy now? Yeah, baby, I said. We are. I watched her silhouette stretch long on the pavement and thought of how far we'd come from a house where silence was fear to air filled with laughter. I used to think strength meant enduring pain quietly. Now I know it's what you choose after surviving. As the wind carried the scent of lavender and fabric dye, I whispered, We made it. And for once, it wasn't a promise, it was the truth. Because the storm had passed. The scars remained, but so did the calm, the laughter, the quiet certainty that we were finally free. And somewhere between the ring of June's bell and the hush of the wind, I realized the life I'd wanted wasn't waiting beyond pain. It was here, steady and ordinary, mine to keep, mine to protect, mine to live.